Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee TrackHawk, and today I'm gonna review it for you guys. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, why the heck is this Jeep Grand Cherokee nearly $100,000? Well, that's because it has a supercharged Hellcat engine and it does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Not something a regular Grand Cherokee can do. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Brown Daub Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for allowing me to review this vehicle. For all your Stellantis vehicle needs, you can visit Brown Daub at their website, browndaub.net. Now, some viewers might be saying, Isaac, you're a little late to the party on the TrackHawk. In fact, there's a newer body style of the Grand Cherokee already out on the market. And while that might be true, with the recent announcement of the cancellation of the Challenger and Charger and the closure of the SRT division of Dodge, this particular TrackHawk truly is the last of its kind. So when they got one of these in at the dealership, I jumped at the chance to review it because honestly, I might not ever get the chance to review a V8 supercharged SUV like this ever again. And so starting here on the front with the headlights, it does a little bit to differentiate itself from the regular Grand Cherokee, but what's really cool about this is it's kind of subtle. It doesn't really do a lot to pop out and stand out. You kind of have to know that it's the TrackHawk to know, and I'll show you that with some of the features on here. So with the headlights, you'll have full LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED headlights. No fog lights on this particular model, though you will get parking sensors around the front bumper and these really nice giant air intakes on the lower front fascia. And then you'll have your sensor camera there for the active cruise control that this comes equipped with. Moving underneath the hood in the TrackHawk, this is the main event, a 6.2 liter supercharged Hellcat V8 making 707 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque. And that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. I really admire Jeep's boldness to put this 6.2 liter inside the Grand Cherokee, making a pretty standard family hauler into a really exciting and fun SUV. They recently did this with the Dodge Durango as well, and I admire Chrysler, Fiat, or I guess they're called Stellantis now, their willingness to be able to do this, because that's not a risk that Chevy and Ford are usually willing to take in their standard SUVs, but that's what makes Chrysler, Fiat, or Stellantis stand out in a crowd. Now, I generally don't do an exhaust note on most of the SUVs that I review, but this one is special. Alrighty, now moving on to the profile. Starting here with the hood, you have actual functional hood vents right here, which is awesome. Love to see that, especially in the market where we have so many fake ones, but with how powerful this engine is, you need real ones on here. And then moving to the wheels and tires here, whoop, let me back up a little bit because they're so big. You have 295 45R tires, around 20-inch wheels with these really distinctive Brembo brakes. I absolutely love those calipers. I think they look so good. And then moving over here, this is another tell of this being the TrackHawk variant. You'll have the Grand Cherokee supercharged badge right here on the lower door panel. Then if we move up to the mirror, it does have a turn signal indicator in it, and it is body colored. And then moving over here, there is blind spot monitoring and heating incorporated into it. And then this does have keyless entry, so if I have the key in my pocket, I just put my hand back there and open it. And then if I want to lock it, you can see, boop, lock it, just tap that right there. Moving along the side, it is, again, very subtle. It is not super, bold in its TrackHawk styling, and I love that. Like I said up front, if you know it's a TrackHawk, you know, and if not, yeah, it's just like every other Grand Cherokee on the road. But moving down here, you have parking sensors all around the bottom, and then you have this really cool quad exhaust, and then you'll get your Jeep badge up here, and then your TrackHawk badge right there. Not a ton to differentiate that from the TrailHawk badge. That's also an option on some Jeep models. But again, it's just cool. It's really nice and subtle. You'll have a backup camera right here. And then if I pull the key out, this is a very unique key. It's red. Love that. And it also says TrackHawk on it. So you'll have lock, unlock, and then a remote start and your panic button. All you have to do is hit this 2 times, and that's going to open the rear lift gate. Moving into the rear, you have this really nice cargo space divider right here. Whoop, that's too bright. We'll have to go to this side. And you can just pop that in there, and that will open up to reveal more storage space for you. You do have the button right here to drop that lift gate if you'd like automatically. And then you do have a, let's cover that up there, a 12 volt DC outlet back here. And then if we, what am I pushing on here? What push? Aha! Push on this, and then this opens up to reveal our spare tire. Moving to the interior of the TrackHawk, this definitely differentiates itself from a regular Grand Cherokee when you step inside. You can see on the door panel here, this is a very nice soft touch material. Then you'll have carbon fiber basically trimming the entire front of the dash right here. That is a really sleek look. You're gonna get Harman and Kardon audio, and then leather with really nice trim stitching and Alcantara on the doors and on the seats. You'll get these really cool red seat belts. My word, these seats are incredibly comfortable. But coming back here to the driver's door panel, pretty traditional Jeep controls here, your window switches, your mirror controls, and your lock and unlock. It's the same down here with your lighting, pretty standard Jeep controls. Those have been around for a very long time. And then moving back here to the steering wheel, it is leather wrapped, really comfortable. It is heated. It says TrackHawk down here at the bottom, so that's always really cool to see. And it's leather wrapped on the horn area. That's really cool. You don't see that all too often. Generally, most brands skimp on that, but Jeep did not in this case. And then you'll have your controls for the center screen, which we'll touch upon in a minute, your Bluetooth, and all your adaptive cruise control settings right there, which is really nice. You'll have paddle shifters right here, always a nice inclusion, but they're only half paddle shifters because Jeep still includes the volume controls and the channel changing back here. So you have your paddle shifter up here and the channel changers down there. So that's kind of a cool implementation. And then moving into the center screen here, you'll have a half gauge for your speedometer, but this is actually a digital tachometer in here because this is a screen in the center. So you can actually end up changing some settings on here. So you take your tachometer away and choose what you want to display on the main menu there, and you can go through a ton of different options. A lot of these center screens have adapted this stuff recently, so you can do different, your digital speedometer, you can set up a speed warning, you can see your drive modes, your tire pressure, pretty standard in there, and then you're going to get a digital readout for what drive mode you are in right there. So that's really nice to see. And then pulling out here, going to the touch screen, this is the newer variant, which comes equipped with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's incredibly sleek, very, very responsive. Always nice to see that in an infotainment system. With that capability, you're gonna have the ability to turn on your heated steering wheel, your heated seats, and your ventilated seats from here. And if you'd like, you can access your backup camera. This is a huge disappointment in the TrackHawk. This is probably my only major complaint on the interior of this is, my word, the quality of this backup camera is very, very low. I've seen some really high quality backup cameras out of Jeep recently, and this just feels tacky, unfortunately. It does have guiding lines, which is nice, so I can give it that. Some backup cameras nowadays don't do that, and it's clearly just an afterthought to throw a backup camera on here for some vehicles, but I just really wish that the quality of this would be a lot nicer. I guess at the end of the day, though, it does help you see what's behind you, and that's really what's important, but that is disappointing from a quality perspective, especially the price on this TrackHawk. Though I guess you're not buying the TrackHawk for the backup camera quality. But there's, of course, navigation built into this and stuff like that, though I would tend to recommend using the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Below that, you're going to have physical controls, so you'll have your volume, your tuning, mute, and your hazards, as well as your climate controls right here. And then you're going to have all your parking sensors modes, your traction control, your economy mode, stuff like that. And then down here, you have a regular shifter. For the most part, you put your foot on the brake and you can actually shift in between each gear. That's really cool. That's leather wrapped, very, very secure feeling. I like that. We have that key that I mentioned earlier in between two cup holders, and then you do have interior lighting. These do turn on at night, give you a nice glow. And then right here, you have your launch control. Again, something that you're not gonna find in a regular Grand Cherokee, and your drive mode selector. Now that will also pop up in your center gauge cluster right here. So we have track, we have sport, auto, snow. Oh, it's going up a mountain. And then you also have your towing mode. So that's really nice. I'm gonna turn that into auto right now. And then you have the buttons for the drive modes, and then you can do custom. Then this is a really nice leather mounted armrest right here, and then inside you have a pretty deep storage space, and there is a 12 volt, way back there, there's a 12 volt AC adapter, so that's really cool. And I only knew that because it said it right there. Thank you. Putting this down, the top part does open up to give you a small storage space as well. This particular one does not come with a sunroof or anything like that. I know some people that is a detractor, and some people hate sunroofs, and so that's actually a plus. But that pretty much wraps up this front part of the interior. Let's take a quick look at the back. Moving to the rear seats, the incredible finish on here extends back here. This is soft touch as well, and the carbon fiber extends. You'll have your window control and your really nice stitching. And then down here, you'll get heated rear seats with your climate vents and your controls back here. And then you'll have a household outlet back here and 2 USBs. That's really cool to see. And then the red seat belts are also back here. That's a nice touch on the TrackHawk. And then you have a fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. For the most part, that's pretty much it back here. You'll have little cargo nets for storage, you know, anything to save weight. But it is pretty simple back here. So let's get to the main event, the driving segment. Alrighty, driving the TrackHawk. We have it in sport mode, and I'm gonna open it up here in a minute. This is really exciting. You know, this is a vehicle that you watch the review for the driving impressions. Oh my goodness, can you hear that? Oh my word, that is incredible. That sounds amazing. Like I was saying, this is more for the driving impressions, and it's got so many cool features on the inside and some of the stuff on the exterior, but this is really a driver focused SUV. Not a lot of soccer moms just buying this for their regular usage, but man, this thing is incredible. Sounds amazing, bar none. Definitely the best SUV. This rivals some of the McLarens that I've reviewed in sound quality. I mean, this thing sounds great. And obviously SRT knows how to tune stuff. Rest in peace, SRT. If I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of scary to drive. 707 horsepower is nothing to balk at. And going on some of these really tight roads, you're afraid to open it up a little bit because you're like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen here? And so I guess we're opening it up a little bit more again. All right, here we go, big straightaway. Oh wow, my word. This thing, instant response, instantly responds. There's no lag in it. The handling is really nice, especially on these little back roads. But yeah, I mean, a definitely driver focused car. Absolutely love this. The braking response is really good, which is something that you need on something that's fast. Unfortunately, I cannot test the launch control since this was just recently delivered and they don't have that all set up. And frankly, I don't want to lose my job doing these YouTube reviews anyway, so trust that the launch control is insane on this thing. that is going to wrap up my driving impressions of this TrackHawk. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, guys, that is going to conclude my review of this 2021 TrackHawk. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe, that would really help my channel out quite a bit. And I am a Christian, so if you have any prayer requests, please leave those in the comment section below. I love being able to pray for you guys. And lastly, I like to do a weekly Bible verse. This week's is John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. To give you guys a little context of that, John is one of 4 Gospels in the New Testament, and the Word in this case is referring to Jesus. So in the beginning, Jesus existed. The Word was with God, so Jesus was with God up in heaven, and the Word was God, so he was part of God. That's part of the Christian belief in the Trinity, so the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That gives you a little bit more explanation on that verse. So if you guys have any more questions about that, I really encourage you to go read the Gospel of John, or anywhere else in the Bible. And there's tons of free Bibles that you can get online, either just through Googling it, or going to download a Bible app. With that, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care.